in the business of developing businesses, engineering technician by training, sales professional, entrepreneur, family man, YouTuber, speaker, and problem solver by choice. Speak to Yuri about your challenges and find a solution together. Yuri is going to take the stage now, and please help me in welcoming Yuri Weide-Market with the 5 laws of gold from the richest man in Babylon. Yuri Weide-Market.
Good evening, everybody. It is for me a great privilege and honor to be standing here in front of you this evening. Like Louisa said, the last time we were here, we spoke about investing in yourself and the habits that we have in doing that. And the habits we spoke about was to learn, earn, invest, repeat. Being a YouTuber, I obviously made a video of it, of this talk I did last week or last month. So please go check it out. Leave a like if while you're watching it, just like the video. I'll appreciate that a lot. This evening though, I want to talk to you about the 5 laws of gold, as well as another section from The Richest Man in Babylon called The 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. The book, The Richest Man in Babylon. It is a fantastic book, and I really recommend you go out and you read the book. I don't have time to summarize the whole book this evening. I came from a place just 4 years ago where I was drowning in debt. And I started my career as an engineer thinking that as an engineer, you're going to make a lot of money and you're going to become wealthy and you don't have to worry about money the rest of your life. I chose engineering because I thought, yes, I enjoy tinkering with electronics and putting my fingers on buttons and making lights shine, but also this career is going to make me wealthy. I had dreams of owning Ferraris and Mustangs and Lamborghinis from a young boy age. I'm a little bit of a petrol head, but I soon realized that you can't make debt to buy those kind of things. I had to come to the realization at the end of 2018 that eventually debt, the burden of debt, will crush you. So at that point, I had to make some sacrifices. Babylon was one of the richest cities in that time, and even back then, even though it was one of the richest cities in the world at the time, there were people that were struggling with money. The book starts off with Bansir sitting on the low wall around his property, and he is contemplating his life. In his workshop, there is a half-built chariot sitting there waiting for him to finish, and he's pondering how he's been working hard and tirelessly his whole life, providing chariots for wealthy customers. But yet, he never seems to have a comfortable lifestyle. His wife popping out of the house every now and then, giving him a glare, and why aren't you working on the chariot? His best friend rocks up and asks him, since you're sitting here on the wall, seemingly don't needing to work because obviously you have enough money, you can loan me some money because I'm going to a party this evening. Alas, Bansir says, I don't have any coin in my purse. My purse is lean. So, after a lengthy discussion, they decide to go seek the counsel of the richest man in Babylon. The richest man in Babylon's name is Arkad. And they gang together, a group of friends, and they go and seek out Arkad to get counsel from the richest man in Babylon. The first law of gold is that gold comes gladly and in increasing quantity to those who choose to keep at least and no less than 10% of their take-home income for themselves. In other words, save to invest. Right? Now, like I said earlier, the habit of putting the money aside is more important than the amount because, like I said, the 3 categories of people that I mentioned earlier in terms of financial habits, if your income increases, it is most likely that your expenses will increase unless you develop the habit of having an account or an envelope or somewhere to put that 10% you keep for yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to spend it in any case. So that habit of putting money aside is so vitally important. And if you can be disciplined in putting that money aside, money will come to you in increasing quantities. The second law of gold is that money will labor diligently and contentedly for the wise owner that finds for it profitable employment. In other words, find an investment, find somewhere to put your money wisely. Don't listen to everybody's advice. Don't listen to the best promises people can make you. And that goes on to law number 4, but we'll get there just now. The third law of gold is that gold or money will cling to the protection of the cautious owner that invests under the wise counsel of those wise in the handling and increasing of money. So it is easy to get distracted by all the promises we find in the media today. Millions get spent, if not billions, on trying to part you from your money. And it is so vitally important to understand that you are allowed to say no. We were having a conversation just earlier about, instead of saying, I don't have money, or I'm broke, or I'm not earning enough money, saying something like, it's not within my budget, makes so much sense that it puts you into control of your spending habits. Or rather saying, let me rather save this money for the goal that I have, rather than spending on this thing that someone is trying to coerce me into doing. So the third law, invest under wise counsel. The fourth law of gold is that law of gold slips away from people who invest in businesses or purposes that they are unfamiliar with, or which is not approved by people wise in their investment of money. In other words, if you start investing based on things that you know nothing about, and or you don't invest with the counsel of people that are already wise in the handling of money, the money will start trickling out of your life. Money flows. Money has to flow. That's the nature of money. How you control it is by telling it where to go. Same as water. If you pour water out here on the floor, it'll just flow. But if you have a glass or a channel or something to make the water flow in a direction, you can make that money flow to somewhere you want to control it to. Then, the fifth law of gold is that money flees, or gold flees. In other words, runs away from people who fall for tricksters and scammers with empty promises and alluring advice about impossible returns on investments. You could be investing in property. You could be investing in crypto. You could be investing in NFTs. You could be investing in the stock market. You could be investing in a friend's business, startup businesses, whatever. There are a multitude and almost unlimited options when it comes to investments. So it makes it even more important to be able to find people that know what they are talking about, like financial advisors, like people who are investors and have been investors for a long time, not just someone that tries to promise you a quick buck. In the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, they tell a story of Nomasir, I think is the guy's name. It's Arkad's son. And he gets sent off to go find his own wealth because Arkad, the richest man in Babylon, did not want to simply give his son his money. So he gave his son a bag of gold and said, here you go. Go prove that you are worthy of my estate. So he went out, he joined a caravan on his way to Nineveh, and on the way there, he gets told that there's this amazing horse that can outrun any horse. And if they bet on this horse, it's a sure deal, they will make massive returns, and it's going to happen just like that. Needless to say, at the end of that journey, he had almost zero gold left, and he had to sell his expensive clothes, he had to sell his slave, he had to sell his horses and his chariot, just to be able to survive and start over. So it is so important that we don't fall for the people that make promises that seem even legit. They have websites and all these kind of things, but I've fallen for those guys in the past, and I implore you not to do the same.